pretty stoked to be the director of Village Square. Why? Because Village Square is not just a digital entity. It's not just a website that features stories and insights from rural India. It's an idea, an ethos. It's a metaphorical bridge between you here in urban and urbane India and those on the margins of society. Those too often forgotten about and ignored. Those who haven't escaped to the cities, those left behind in rural India. It's villages we conveniently ignore, and I'll be the first to say, mea culpa. Yes, as a journalist in various newsrooms in India, London, Singapore, I often spiked those stories about rural India, stories we patronizingly referred to as dull but worthy. When I first came here 15 years ago, I was sent here along with a lot of fellow foreign journalists to cover the Indian growth story, aspirational India, the ones who'd left the villages behind to study in the big cities or abroad, to work at multinationals, to buy washing machines, blue jeans, cappuccinos. That was urban India. You, not its villages. Then, of course, the Great Recession came and the growth story was kind of on hold. And corruption and sexual violence took its place when India was covered in the foreign media. Now it's politics and the pandemic. Still not what's being talked about in the village square. And yet, 500 million people live there. That's 1/16 of the world hardly anyone is listening to. That is why Village Square exists. We want to feature their stories. Yes, their trials and tribulations, but also their joys and triumphs. We want to champion the loud and pushy change makers, but also the quiet, invisible ones working frantically behind the scene, the way ducks' feet are frantically swimming and paddling beneath the surface, though from above all one sees is the glide along the water. There are thousands of people like that in India. Millions, if we were to look closely enough. We're telling their stories. But also, we want to change the narrative a little too, and not just think in terms of villagers as victims, but also villagers as vibrant citizens of this country. We're featuring their festivals, their art, lifestyle trends, yes, lifestyle trends, and their social media successes. And yes, also the farming practices and the many schemes, both from NGOs and government organizations, that bring change, push forward progress, even if it's at baby steps. That is why Village Square exists, to feature all those stories. And that's why you're here tonight. And that is why we're launching the Bharat Youth Dialogues, to provide a place for you, the future of India, the new and active and activist generation, to hear other activists, thought leaders, and great minds in India and abroad to talk about what's happening in the Village Square, to hear and champion the village vibe. So, it is with great excitement that we're launching the Bharat Youth Dialogues with none other than Swara Bhaskar, who is more than a critically acclaimed Hindi language actor. She is also a leading social activist who cares passionately for India's 500 million people living in its villages, who is one of the most vocal champions of the poor and has a deep appreciation about the challenges and the opportunities in rural India. And do you know why? Well, you're about to find out, because her story and her journey are as fascinating as the character she portrays on screen, if not more. And that's not all. She'll be talking with veteran journalist Suparna Sharma, who has a keen eye for social issues, extensively writing on impacts of disasters, child trafficking rackets, and more. So, without further ado, let's put our hands together and give them a huge welcome to the first of the Bharat Youth Dialogues.
Swara, welcome to Bharat Youth Dialogues, the first installment of what I hope will be a long string of dialogue. As Lindy mentioned, you've spent a month in a village just after college, right? So I'd like to do it like they do it in films, flashback to the time where you were, what you were doing, what inspired you or instigated you to kind of take that step and spend a month in a village.
So, first of all, I just want to say thank you. And thank you to Anish sir and Amjad bhai and Lindy for that very generous introduction. And I'm sorry, I didn't get your name. Vanya. So thank you and thank you to everyone जो यहाँ पे आए हैं, because I think ये आजकल कोरोना काल में घर से बाहर निकलने का मतलब है आप अपनी जान हथेली पे रख के निकल रहे हो, तो बहुत ही यहाँ निडर जाबाज लोग आए हैं. Thank you so much. So Hindi English is okay, mix? It's fine.
Absolutely.
I think that flashback to, मैं ये नहीं बताऊंगी exactly कितने ईयर पहले, क्योंकि मैं अपनी उम्र छुपाने की कोशिश कर रही हूँ, because you know Bollywood actor. But I was, I think, very much like Vanya. I was in my third year of college, and so final year of BA, and I saw this fellowship advertised with an organization in Delhi. It was the National Foundation for India, I think, and they were partnering with Pradhan and a lot of other NGOs at that point, and they had a fellowship for young people. And I was studying literature, and I was very interested in stories, and I was very interested in, you know, a lot of the novels that we were reading were not set in, you know, India of the 2000s, or the Delhi of the 2000s, sorry. So I thought that, you know, it's an exciting new thing to do in your summer holidays. I was really looking to get a vacation, guys, let's like be honest. And I thought कि, you know, इसमें थोड़ा ऐसे सीखने को भी मिल जाएगा और घूमने को भी मिल जाएगा. So मैंने apply किया और मेरे को प्रदान assign कर दिया गया, the NGO प्रदान, and to the Kesla project, which is in the Hoshangabad district of Madhya Pradesh, where all of them were working. मैं दिल्ली से बाहर कहीं गई थी तो दूसरे ही बड़े शहरों में गई थी. मैक्स टू मैक्स जो आप जिसे छोटा शहर मानेंगे जहां मैं गई थी, या एक नॉन अर्बन मेट्रोपॉलिटन कॉन्टेक्स्ट में बनारस गई थी. दैट्स इट. उसके अलावा I'd been to Bombay, I'd been to Delhi, and I'd been abroad a couple of times, but I'd actually never been to a village in India. But I'd seen the village in Hindi films from forever. You know, औरतें मटका लगा के नाचते हुए खेतों में, लहंगे पहन के और झुमके उनके ज्वेलरी इतना सारा. अब बॉलीवुड में आके मुझे समझ में आता है कि इतना ज्वेलरी पहन के कोई काम नहीं होगा. और या फिर जिस तरीके से DDLJ में दिखाया जाता है कि वो सरसों के खेतां विच और शाहरुख खान टुनटुना बजा रहे हैं और कोई लड़की ऐसे काजोल आ रही है गले मिलने के लिए. सो ये टाइप का मेरे मन में जहन में था कि गाँव में ऐसा होता होगा. एंड ऑफ कोर्स आई लैंडेड अप इन केसला, और एक रियलिटी का तमाचा पड़ा मुझे. It was not तमाचा, it was actually amazing, but it was a good, very very good wake up call that made me realize कि हमें लगता है हम बड़े शहरों में हैं तो हम कितने कनेक्टेड हैं, हम कितने अवेयर हैं, हम CNN देख रहे हैं, BBC देख रहे हैं तो हमें सब पता है. बट एक्चुअली कितने आसानी से आपका कॉन्टेक्स्ट जो है वो एक्चुअली एक बेड़ी बन सकता है. इट कैन एक्चुअली चेंज यू टू जस्ट the reality, the immediate reality that you inhabit, and it can insulate you. know, आप वो कूपमंडूक कहते हैं ना, आप बहुत आसानी से कूपमंडूक में अपने, वो कूपमंडूक आप न्यूयॉर्क में भी हो सकते हैं, वो आप न्यू दिल्ली में भी हो सकते हैं, वो आप बैंगलोर में भी हो सकते हैं, वो कहीं भी हो सकते हैं. Actually has nothing. So I mean, to just sum it up, I think my greatest learning, and there was many things that I learned and many things that happened, but my greatest learning was that awareness, empowerment, and agency have nothing to do with whether you are in a city or in a village. We are just taught somehow by the common sense to assume that because we are in the city, we are somehow more capable. That's not actually entirely true.
Right.
We are only more privileged.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
And that was the biggest thing that I learned.
Really, that was your experience. I mean, there must be 100 takeaways from that, right?
No, I mean, it changed everything for me. It changed what I wanted to do in my life.
In the sense?
I mean, I I wanted to go abroad. Before that, I was like, मैं GRE लेके मैं चली जाऊँगी बाहर PhD करूँगी, and I'll go and study and be an academic and all. And that experience, I did not become an activist quite in the same way as a true activist. But I was like, मुझे नहीं जाना इंडिया छोड़ के.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, I don't live here. I don't want to go anywhere. And I wanna always be doing something that connects me to the world which is outside my immediate world.
Right.
And weirdly, actually, even acting gives me that opportunity.
It's not weird, actually. I think that's true, especially the roles you take up. I just dial back a little bit. So you said it changed the path you may have taken after doing English honors in Miranda, right?
It just changed the person I was. It made me go to JNU.
Right. Okay. We'll come to that later.
Thanks, Amjad bhai.
So what was it? I mean, okay, the sense I'm getting is that it anchored you to India in a way. But what was it?
It was, and don't take this in the wrong way. It was like, for me, when Nehru wrote The Discovery of India, and you can see that he's writing, अगर किसी ने पढ़ी है Discovery of India या उसके कुछ excerpts पढ़े, you can make out that this is someone who is discovering his own love for his country, and in that sense it's very honest.
Right.
It's a very honest account of an urban young man, or not so young, he wrote it over some years, but you can see that
right.
that discovery, that learning, that the warmth with which he's talking about what he has discovered about his own land,
right.
and it in a far less I think enlightened way, it felt like that for me, and it was very, very humbling. I want to say this again and again because I think that हम especially अगर आप किसी privilege के context से आते हैं, एक अजीब सी I feel over smartness आ जाती है आपके अंदर. एक तो already young हैं आप, so एक youth का और एक young होने की over smartness already है, और उससे I don't want to use the word arrogance because it's an unkind word. It's just it's the natural sort of confidence of young people. But if you come from a lot of shelter, privilege, and opportunity, which I came from, it can very easily become, a slight snobbery or a slight, everything. And I think that going to Kesla was so humbling for me because it was just like, quite simply, to realize that the world you inhabit is not the only world that exists. The reality you know is not the only reality that exists, and the truth that you claim is the truth is not the only truth. That the India that you think is just one India of many Indias that exist, and to realize that those various Indias, their experiences, their demands, their choices, their aspirations are as valid as yours are. And I think that for me was I feel like that's a lesson that can never never gets old and that never goes wrong. Because literally, and it's so relevant today, because today we are in a context where every side is telling us कि हम जो इंडिया चाहते हैं वही इंडिया है, कि हमारा जो अनुभव है वही आपका भी अनुभव होगा, कि हमारा जो सत्य है वही आपका सत्य होगा, हमारा जो खाना है वही आपका खाना होगा, हमारी जो धर्म है वही आपकी धर्म होगी या फेथ होगा या व्हाटएवर, हमारी भाषा ही आपकी भाषा, सो हमारा प्यार करने का तरीका ही आपका प्यार करने का तरीका होगा. सो it's actually, it seems like a basic thing, but it touches every experience of living in a society, in a country as a citizen. And I think that was it. That's why I'm saying that it changed me. I mean, at very basic level, I'll give you an example. It taught me that impatience it's almost a privilege for me to be like, oh my God, like like being punctuality. It literally, and I'm not saying I love being late and I'm always late, so I'm not trying to justify my personal being
Well, you're
late.
from Delhi, so
But I remember Amjad bhai used to go, so he was my boss, तो मुझे इनकी चपरासी बना दिया गया था, और मैं बस बताना चाहूँगी कि 4 दिन उन्होंने मुझसे बात ही नहीं करी, बिकॉज ये शहरी लड़की है, हाँ यहाँ से इसे क्या पता, तो पहले उन्होंने टेस्ट लिया 4 दिन के लिए, फिर मैं वो टेस्ट पास किया, फिर उन्होंने ऐसे कहा कि ठीक है, दो तीन शब्द बोले उन्होंने मुझे, उन्होंने कहा ठीक है ये काम करो जाके, तो फिर धीरे धीरे अमजद भाई ने मुझे आने दिया उनकी मीटिंग्स में. सो आई थिंक हमारा फर्स्ट वीक था एंड इट वाज द फर्स्ट टाइम आई वाज गोइंग विद हिम, एंड ये जा रहे थे किसी गांव में समिति की मीटिंग करने आदिवासी महिलाओं के साथ, एंड इनके पास एक बाइक थी जिससे मैं जल भी गई थी. आज तो सारी कहानियां बता दूंगी मैं. तो एक इनके पास पल्सर थी, नहीं पल्सर नहीं, क्या था, बड़ी, आपकी कौन सी बाइक थी आपकी? स्प्लेंडर. तो गंदी सी बाइक थी इनके पास जिसमें हमेशा कीचड़ वीचड़ लगे रहता था इनके टायर्स में. वहाँ पीछे बैठा के ले गए मुझको, हम लोग गए गांव में. तो मैंने कहा कहाँ है हमसे भाई, कहाँ जाना है? नहीं गाँव है, यहीं पे जाना है. तो करते करते हम गए भाई, जंगलों में घुस गए, और मैं कभी जंगल नहीं देखा लाइफ में, तो जंगल वंगल में घुस गए हम और पहुंच गए नदी के किनारे. तो जाके उन्होंने बाइक रोक दी. तो मैंने कहा कि यहाँ है मीटिंग, मुझे लगा पिकनिक है कि नदी के किनारे यहाँ पे समिति की मीटिंग आएगी. तो मैंने कहा हम यहाँ पे मीटिंग है, नहीं यहाँ अभी आगे जाना. तो मैंने कहा आगे तो पानी है. तो कहते हैं कि नहीं अभी एक नाव आएगी. मैंने कहा नाव यहाँ आएगी? तो उन्होंने कहा हाँ. तो मैंने कहा फिर हम नाव में जाएंगे. मैंने कहा बाइक के साथ? तो कहते हैं हाँ. तो फिर मैंने कहा कहाँ है नाव? तो कहते हैं उस पार है. तो नाव थी, तो मैंने कहा बुलाओ फिर उसे. कहते नहीं अभी वो वहां भरेगा लोगों को, फिर वो लाएगा यहाँ पे. तो मैंने कहा यार ये तो फिर बड़ा लेट हो जाएगा, हमने तो कहा था कि हमारी 10 बजे की मीटिंग है. तो ये सब उसका भी तो रोजगार है, वो भी तो कमाएगा. एंड सो आई मीन इट्स अ स्टूपिड स्मॉल थिंग. तो फिर हम वहाँ बैठे 3 घंटे, क्योंकि वहाँ कोई आया नहीं. वो आदिवासी वहाँ से आ रहे थे अपने गाँव से जिनको भी निकलना था. तो 3 घंटे अपने भाई में चिल मार रहे हैं वहाँ पे, ठीक है, कौन सा टाइम ही चले गए. फिर वो आया भर भर के लोगों को नाव लेके आया, फिर हम गए, हमने बाइक चढ़ाई, फिर हम दोनों 2-3 और लोग आए, फिर उसने वेट करो, फिर हम वहाँ से गए और अंदर, फिर हम गए वहाँ अंदर में. एंड इट जस्ट it's not a big thing, but that day it made me realize that process of waiting and whatever, and then once we reached there, I was like महिलाएं कहाँ हैं, अभी आएंगे, वो अपने काम वाम खत्म करके आएंगे ना, वो अपना दिन का काम खत्म. हाँ यार ये तो लेट है, फिर कोई they have no value for time and all. हाँ हेलो, वो अपना काम करेंगे which they will eat and earn from, and then they will come. And it just made me realize that the things we are taught to value, even those things don't have to be the same for everyone. That's one thing. So just to be aware of that. And the other thing it made me realize, which I had never thought of, was कि भाई साहब हेल्थ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर का हर जगह होना कितना जरूरी है. क्योंकि इस गांव में अगर किसी को टाइफाइड, मलेरिया या कुछ पेट खराब भी हो गया, तो उसकी तो है, मतलब वो तो नदी पार करते करते, बोट भरते भरते आगे, तो वो आदमी मतलब क्या होगा उस इंसान का. आई गेस दैट्स व्हाट यू से अबाउट द लास्ट माइल डिलीवरी, राइट, of announcing schemes and stuff, but how to actually get it. And this is something that I had no idea about. I could never have known. Right. But just to be aware of this is to just lose so much of the arrogance of having Sitaram Bhartiya near you or Max or whatever. Like,
so you think you realized your own privilege. That's one. But like this experience in real terms, in tangible terms, ये 3 घंटे का wait, which is so shocking would be to our system, that this is the daily reality. What does it like? How does it inform you today? You're such a loudmouth in a good way, right? On social media, you speak even on the farmers' issue. You've spoken a lot. So how does this inform your politics today? That experience.
Well, it informs me because when people are going on and about how health should be privatized, and how when people talk about privatization, I'm thinking immediately of how that will impact the people who are going to be in that village where you take a boat and go and come, right? Or for example, I'll give a more recent example. When last year or the year before last, the JNU fee hike debate that happened, right? And it was so shocking to people like us कि ओ 600 रुपए क्या होता है यार 600 रुपए. But I mean 600 रुपए is like it's a good part of someone's like income of or it makes up for 2-3 days income for people. So an increase that seems very minor increment to us could be the choice between someone having access to higher education or just having to drop out.
Right. Yeah.
Like
Right.
I'm not giving you the exact figure because now I don't remember it, but I'm just saying that because when this debate was happening and Arnab was like 600 रुपए क्या होता है 600 रुपए, I'm like भाई तेरे लिए कुछ नहीं होता है ना. इस देश में बहुत सारे लोगों के लिए वो चॉइस है कि आप पढ़ोगे या नहीं पढ़ोगे फिर.
Right.
So I think that as a citizen, that is how it has affected me.
But in a way, you're saying that you because of that experience, whenever you react to an issue or a policy or a decision or an announcement, that somewhere you also speak for that part of India, for you're carrying that voice in your voice. I mean, I don't want to sounding very.
I don't ever claim to speak for anyone, because I think that people speak for themselves and communities speak for themselves. And I think that's the other thing, as I was saying, that I was having this conversation outside with someone and I was saying कि यार ये भी मेरे को एक और चीज़ वहाँ पे समझ में आई जाके कि ना उन्हें हमारी उस तरीके से ज़रूरत नहीं है बोलने के लिए. I remember you remember we had gone to one, कहाँ गए थे हम, और वो महिलाएं, और वो उनको देखो तो मतलब आपको लगेगा कि ये 200 साल पहले भी इन्होंने यही कपड़े पहने होंगे, इनकी यही लाइफस्टाइल होगी, ये यही काम कर रही होंगी. और वो बैठ के अमजद भाई से बोल रही थी कि वो जो सोलर पैनल के बारे में प्रपोजल आया था कि क्या हुआ फिर उसका, और वो कुछ बजट डिस्कस कर रही थी. मैं मर गई वहां पे, बिकॉज मुझे खुद समझ नहीं आ रहा कि सोलर पैनल काम कैसे करता है या उसका क्या वो है. बट दीज वुमेन न्यू इट ऑल. And they know it all because they know their reality.
Right.
And they understand their reality, and they understand how whatever that technology that is being offered will change them. So I feel like that I don't think I need, or anybody from the outside needs to speak for anyone. I think we need to listen.
Yeah.
And I think that if we can listen, and perhaps the one thing that I think that I might do is कि जो लोग नहीं सुन रहे उनको बोलो कि यार चुप करो, सुन लो. So I mean मेरे उस सोशल मीडिया हैंडल का वैल्यू सिर्फ इतना है कि मैं किसी और के ट्वीट को रीट्वीट कर सकती हूँ, या मैं किसी और के मुद्दे को रीट्वीट कर सकती हूँ. मैं ये नहीं कह रही कि मैं बोल रही हूँ आपके लिए, लेकिन हाँ डेफिनेटली मेरे पास थोड़े ज्यादा फॉलोअर हैं तो मैं आपकी आवाज उन ज्यादा फॉलोअर्स तक पहुंचा सकती हूँ. इतना ही रोल है मेरा, और मैं उतना ही समझती हूँ और उतना ही होना भी चाहिए. Because I also feel like, and sorry, this is not part of your question, but I also feel very uncomfortable with this idea of celebrity activism. Because of social media, वो इतना एक चीज बन गया ना, and it's everywhere in the world. Like even in Hollywood, like every celebrities are suddenly more woke and more interested, and everyone has an opinion, and everyone's like, oh, use your platform and all. And I just feel like yes, but the thing is that causes exist even when celebrities don't. And causes are important even when celebrities are not espousing them. So I feel always a little wary about treading that, like personally for myself, treading that line between, being a celebrity activist or,
Yeah, I don't know whether to call you an activist or not.
I don't think I'm an activist.
Yeah, I don't know that. But okay, so because the whole part of this youth dialogue is that why should city kids who are born and brought up in Delhi, Bombay, etc., how does this benefit them? If koi engineer banega, someone will travel abroad, study abroad. How does this 1 month? Do you recommend it for people who are just kind of stepping into their lives after their education? And because everything is about me, how will it benefit me? So how will it benefit them?
Well, as a young person who is, I assume, at a stage where you're still learning and educating yourself within the classroom or outside in whatever way, I think definitely take an opportunity like this one, or the fellowship that is being offered by Village Square, or any opportunity to inhabit or immerse yourself for a little while in a reality that is not your own, because to put it very bluntly, it makes you less dumb. and it makes you less ignorant, and being less dumb and less ignorant is always a good thing. On a more selfish note, this is also a selfish note, but on a more selfish note, it's because speaking specifically about rural India and urban India, and I don't need to say this to all of y'all, because you know it better than me, but maybe to the people who are watching on YouTube. I mean, we heard the numbers that Lindy talked about. A very large part of this country, still more than 50%, lives in rural India.
Yeah.
A very large part of urban India also lives and has roots in rural India. Our lives as urban Indians are so dependent on the labor of people who come from rural backgrounds, and that is something we realized in the Corona period when everyone was forced, sadly and tragically, to go back to their homes because the conditions were so bad. And then suddenly you realize how much of the city works, exists and depends on the labor of rural people. So it's going to come, whatever is happening in rural India is going to affect you one way or the other. I mean, even if it's just the farmers' protests, and yes, at this point you can be like, oh, they're blocking the roads, and oh my god, like whatever, it's so inconvenient, and like all of that. But the fact is that at some point, when that crisis becomes too much, it's going to affect, when you go to buy sabzi, even to your big basket, or whatever the other apps are, or whatever it is where urban young people buy sabzis from, and you're going to have to pay that much more, then suddenly you're going to be like, oh, ye kya tha? But ye wo tha jo 20 saal se crisis ho raha tha, ya usse bhi piche se. So the idea that we are not affected by it, or we will not be affected by it, is actually a myth. Everything, the world we live in is interconnected. We are all dependent on each other. We are so much more dependent on the people who we invisibilize so easily. So I think that just because it's going to affect you, you should care. And on a more ethical or whatever humanitarian basis, I mean, well, you should care because it's the right thing. We're human beings. We're human beings for a reason, because we communicate, because we have instincts that are more than basic hunger, sex and fear. We're not reptiles. So just for our larger humanitarian purpose, we should care, and eventually some of these youth will get jobs, and maybe they will be better at their jobs, more sensitive at their jobs, more empathetic at their jobs, and will not, have like...
Complete that sentence, please.
will not have like, inquiries of discrimination and whatnot coming their way if they take decisions when they're in power that is completely, oblivious to the reality of other people.
Right, okay. How has it informed your work? You, after English literature, you went and did sociology at JNU, and then you went to Bombay and you became an actor, and you acted in some fabulous films, especially Nil Batte Sannata and Anarkali of Ara, which I think we all love. So tell me, how does this inform your work? Does it make you a better actor?
I mean, I can't say if it makes me a better actor in terms of like whatever, because वो तो फिर performance के basis पे audience judge करके बताएगी कि acting कैसी थी. But it definitely helps me in my process and in my effort to be an actor, or to be a more genuine actor, or to play a part more genuinely. And I'll tell you this again, all my examples are very basic, guys. But I remember when we used to go for Samiti meetings, I used to be very fascinated by how the women would tie their saris. And I asked Amjad Bhai, because at that point Amjad Bhai was my encyclopedia for everything, and I asked him that, it's such a cool way to tie a sari. And he pointed out to me that the way they've tied that sari helps them do physical labor. So it's not the urban way that our mothers or we wear saris with the front pleats and all that, but it's actually the sari which ties, which kind of, shouldn't show you this because मैंने ऐसे कपड़े पहने हैं, but which allows you to do this.
Squat.
To squat. Because,
right.
yeah. because that is the body language in which you will perform the labor upon which you eat.
Right.
Right? It seems like a very small thing, but when I was doing Chanda's character, I realized that as body language, because that's what we have to work on, that Chanda, because she is somebody who, even though she works now in a city, she obviously has her roots in a village, she should be able to squat. And then it made me realize कि उसके घर में वेस्टर्न टॉयलेट नहीं होगा, उसके घर में इंडियन स्टाइल का टॉयलेट होगा, तो she has to be very comfortable to be on her haunches, and I'm not, because this is how we are taught to sit. Now it seems like a very basic thing, a very small thing, but it's so fundamental to the body language that I have to inhabit to play that character. Similarly, this is not something I learned from my Kesla thing necessarily, but because it made me aware of that. And I use this example all the time. I'm sorry if any of you have heard it from me before. You know, this gesture. Yeah, shrugging your shoulders and being like, oh, rolling your eyes and being like, oh, the sound.
So silly.
This gesture comes from American television. We've all learned this from American television. I didn't see one person in the village like being like, I don't know. I saw a lot of people talking like this, using their hands, big gestures, like, you know, like things that seem dramatic to us, but are very natural to them. So when I was doing Bindya or Ranjana, I was like, ये करना ही नहीं है, because Bindya ने देखी नहीं American TV, वो उसे समझ ही नहीं आती अंग्रेजी, तो वो Hollywood तो देख ही नहीं रही. So I had to build my body language like that. But when in Veere the Wedding, when I was playing a character जो बचपन से Hollywood देख के बड़ी हुई है, American television, then मेरी आंखें सारे टाइम ऊपर ही थी. All the time, I'm like, it's always being like this. So it seems small, but this is what, to me, is what will help me achieve truth in my character. Or again, segue, but Anarkali, and again, don't take this in the wrong way. So अनारकली का कैरेक्टर जो है वो एक बेसिकली बच्चलन औरत है, मतलब हमारी मिडिल क्लास अंडरस्टैंडिंग के हिसाब से, राइट? उस डेफिनेशन के हिसाब से वो बच्चलन औरत है. वो सारे वो काम कर रही है जो मिडिल क्लास मोरालिटी को बहुत अनकंफर्टेबल बनाते हैं, राइट? बट it's not directly connected. But I remember when I was there, Amjad Bhai told me, or somebody, they were talking about it. They told me how one of the tribes has a culture जहाँ पे वो kidnap करके शादी कर लेते हैं, like है ना?
बिहार also.
नहीं, in होशंगाबाद. Anisa, isn't it? कौन kidnap भगुआ शादी है? What is it? भगोड़ा शादी. कि लड़के को kidnap करते हैं?
लड़के को.
हाँ, meaningful whatever, ये एक दूसरे को kidnap करके वो शादी कर रहे हैं, and it's like an accepted thing. अब हमारे जहन में ये क्राइम है, लाइक किडनैपिंग, मतलब पुलिस में जाओ, रपट लिखाओ, यहाँ पे वो सेलिब्रेशन है, लाइक वो घर पे आए, वो फैमिली ने एक्सेप्ट कर लिया. अब अन्य आ सकते भाई फिर क्या होता है, नहीं न्यूज़ नहीं, कुछ दिन बाद वो भी वहाँ नहीं जाते हैं. सो इट जस्ट मेड मी रियलाइज कि मोरालिटी भी जो है वो जरूरी नहीं है कि मेरी जो मोरालिटी है वो आपकी भी मोरालिटी होगी. मेरी मोरालिटी का एक संदर्भ है और आपकी मोरालिटी का एक संदर्भ है. अनारकली जैसा कैरेक्टर प्ले करने के लिए वो एक्सेप्ट करना मेरे लिए बहुत जरूरी है, बिकॉज अगर मैं अनारकली होते हुए अनारकली को बच्चलन समझूं तो मैं कभी अनारकली नहीं बन सकती, राइट? सो इट्स दिस काइंड ऑफ स्टफ. इट सीम्स लाइक इसका कोई कनेक्शन नहीं है, लेकिन इसका कनेक्शन है, क्योंकि उस ट्रिप में केसला जाने के टाइम पे उस वक्त पे मुझे ये समझ में आया कि पूरी दुनिया की मोरालिटी सेम होने की जरूरत नहीं है, और वो चीज ने मुझे 15 साल बाद हेल्प किया अनारकली बनने में. सो इट्स यू कांट डिफाइन things or necessarily pinpoint, but as an artist and as an actor, every experience I've had, I am bringing to you or to my role, and then from when I'm playing that role, I'm going to pick up everything I can find over there to use over here.
Right, and you're able to access it, and I mean, I know what you mean, that acting kaisi hai, that is up to the audience to judge. But you are able to physically and mentally kind of access those characters, which you उस एक्सपीरियंस के बिना शायद नहीं कर पाते या कोई और रूट लेते फॉर एग्जांपल नाउ इट्स पार्ट ऑफ योर सिस्टम
You know, it's like saying कि एटलीस्ट मेरे को अब मतलब मेरे को कॉपी करने की जरूरत नहीं है ना कि अच्छा मतलब अनारकली I'm not saying I've hung out with a lot of you know, or I've necessarily seen a lot of people of that context, but I don't need to copy. मतलब मेरे जहन में छोटा शहर या कस्बा या गांव वो नहीं है जो यशराज मुझे दिखा रहा है 50 साल से. You know, कि हम गाने गाते हुए छतों पे हम पतंगे उड़ाते हैं और यार प्लीज रिकॉर्ड मत करना और या हम कपड़े सुखाते हैं गाने गाते हुए और you know whatever, like I mean it's nice too, that's a nice fantasy, but it's a fantasy.
So in a way what I'm also hearing is that if more actors kind of spend a month in villages, we'll have better films and better roles instead of like तवाइफ एक तवाइफ को देख के सारी तवाइफें उसी को कॉपी करें. Here you are kind of creating a character out of your personal experience, so that's very interesting to me as a film journalist.
हाँ, वो पहला पार्ट आपके स्टेटमेंट का मेरे कंधों पे मत डालना. आप क्रिटिक हो, वो आप अपने ऊपर लो. No, what it does do is that even if it, see, there's a stereotype, okay, about how prostitute. I'm sorry, I'm getting up because it's just, you know, आपने सबने देखा होगा कि prostitute अगर खड़ी है तो कैसे खड़ी है? सारी ऐसे खड़ी. सारी prostitute, दुनिया की सारी prostitute ऐसी खड़ी रहती हैं सारे टाइम. So now, when I had to play Anarkali, and she's not a prostitute, but she is someone who has used her body to advance her career. When I had to think about कि मैं खड़े कैसे होंगी अनारकली बनके, and I started thinking about like why is it that every prostitute का thing is like this? It made me realize that what it is actually is that women, especially in South Asia, we are taught to conceal our chest. Just remember all the girls over here, it just comes to us naturally, and you can be born in a city, you can be born in a village. आप चाहे जाओ, एक अजीब सा ना अपनी छाती को इनविजिबलाइज करने का एक आपका पोस्चर ही ऐसे हो जाता है. अलग ही प्यूबर्टी हिट करने के बाद ही सडनली you know you're just not standing straight anymore. You're just like weirdly like this, दुपट्टा ले लिया, साड़ी ले लिया, you know कितने नॉर्मली हम करते हैं ना घरों में दरवाजे की घंटी मतलब जहाँ पे उसके पास दुपट्टा रहता है कि दरवाजा बजेगा तो दुपट्टा लेके फिर दरवाजा खोलेंगे, right? Now it's not good. I'm not making a value judgment. I'm just saying that is a morality that Anarkali is free of, because for her chati is what is going to get her shows and her tips and her money.
Yeah.
So when I had to embody Anarkali, I had to understand that relationship between my torso and my character, right, and my character's job and her torso.
Yeah.
So there is a reason why Anarkali walks in a different way in that town than all the other women.
Yeah.
Right? Now this is a very small thing. It means nothing. You're not going to see it in the dialogue, but you'll see it in every frame, because it will inform how an Anarkali sits and stands and walks like throughout the film.
Yeah.
It's the most basic building block for me for my character.
For your character, yeah.
So you know it's stuff like that and I'm not saying that this doesn't know. I'm not saying कि यही तरीका है. मैं कह रही हूँ ये मेरा तरीका है. ये तरीका मैंने बनाया और इस तरीके में मेरे सारे अनुभवों ने मेरी हेल्प करी है, including the fellowship that I got and the time I spent in Pradhan and in those tribal villages. I mean, right. I'm just saying that nothing goes waste.
Right. Okay. And so you did it after college. If you were to, you're a role model for the young generation, and on because of your films, because of your activism, whatever we may call it, because of your huge following on social media. So
because of my verbal diarrhea. let's just be clear what it is.
So how would you recommend that kids do it? See, kids in the city, they have their own pressures, their own stresses, their own 12th का exam खत्म हुआ, फिर college की admission है, college खत्म हुआ, उसके बाद job और higher study का.
हाँ, we were very lucky कि ये cut off ऐसे पागलपन नहीं थे जब हम थे, because I don't understand कि मैं तो मतलब मैं बिल्कुल ही जाहिल होती अगर मैं अभी पैदा होती तो. Like I don't understand how you can have 99 cut off in like arts.
Right.
Like it just hello.
Right, but how would you, since you have done this, how would you suggest to girls especially and boys? When do they take time off? How do they do it? Should they go ahead, spend 1 year doing, spending time in a village?
I think that young people must put themselves in situations where they are uncomfortable, because I think you truly only learn when you put yourself in a situation that is outside your comfort zone. I'm saying uncomfortable, not unsafe. Please be careful, be safe, be cautious, but get out of your comfort zone. And it's a very hard thing to do, but I think that it is very important, especially as a student and when you're learning. And which is what I always believe, that you can learn anywhere and you can learn from anything. I think that I learned more from my friends who were my classmates in JNU and my friends in JNU who came from different backgrounds and social contexts than me, than I learned inside the classroom in JNU. But that is not to say that I did not learn inside the classroom. Great classrooms, great teachers, but I learned so much stuff that was affected me so much more deeply just by being friends with and talking to people who didn't go to my school. जो स्कूल नहीं जा सकते थे अगर क्योंकि बाढ़ आ गई, तो बाढ़ आ जाना मैं दिल्ली में नो रियलिटी. लाइक हम तो खुश हो रहे होते थे कि स्कूल की छुट्टी, कोई मर जाए चेयरपर्सन हमारे एजुकेशनल बोर्ड का तो छुट्टी मिल जाए. लाइक हम ये हमारे वो थे हमारे लिए. लाइक कि स्कूल आप महीनों नहीं जा सकते, बाढ़ आ गई, स्कूल बह गया. Like, this is not a reality I had any understanding of. But now I do. And now I understand that it's like a really serious thing. And that, at a policy level, that there should be a way in which governments and people in power should figure out what to do with schools and education in Bard.
Right.
I mean, that's like a thing. That is like, that should be some district collector's job. Right. And it is. So, I think that young people, especially urban young people, I think the biggest thing that as an urban person that we have really only is their comfort. Like, we're too comfortable. अब तो वो भी आ गए, रजाई जो अपने आप ही हीट हो जाते हैं.
हाँ, वो भी है.
Like the bed warmers. I don't know. So like, I just think we need to get the hell out of our houses and like, just be less comfortable for a couple of weeks.
Right.
It'll make you a better person.
Thank you, Swara. Thank you so much.
Thank you everyone. आपने इतने patience से मेरी बात सुनी. I know